Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, depending on what part of the world you are in. It's good to be with you today. My name is Liam Glennon, and along with my colleague Kasia Mahoney, we would like to give you a brief introduction to the World Potato Congress event to be held in Ireland next May. First, on behalf of WPC Inc., we would like to acknowledge the support of our sustaining partners, without whom these webinars would simply not be possible. So perhaps a good place to start is to ask the question, why Ireland? Why choose this tiny little country with a small population to host a World Potato Congress? In other words, what are Ireland's potato credentials? Well, first of all, a little history. As you probably know, the first recorded use of the potato on mainland Europe was in the Sangre Hospital in Seville in 1573. Thereafter, the potato made its way up through northern Spain and France, reaching England in the late 1580s and landing in Ireland around the year 1600. In fact, the first recorded use of the potato in Ireland is on the estate of Sir Walter Raleigh in County Cork in the year 1600. However, Ireland and the Irish were different from the rest of Europe. From the get-go, the Irish embraced the potato full on and were the first in Europe to adopt it as a staple food. It is a matter of public record that young adult males in the early 1800s were consuming up to 14 pounds of potatoes a day. That's over 6 kilos. And as potatoes and milk can supply almost the complete diet, there are many references in the literature of the time to the general population being healthy and robust. So largely due to the nutritional powerhouse that the potato is, it was able to support a rapidly expanding population. This reached its zenith in the early 1840s, 1841 to be precise, when the population peaked at 8.15 million. You can see there, for example, in a 60-year period, the population doubled, and this was largely due to the potato. The area of potatoes being grown in the country in the early 1840s was over 2 million acres or 800,000 hectares. And just to provide you with some context, today the acreage is 22,000 acres or 9,000 hectares. So you can see where we are now. A huge segment of the Irish population now dependent on one single crop, the potato, indeed one single variety called a lumper, which had never really been tested for disease resistance. And then in August 1945, in the form of the infamous Phytophthora infestans, disaster struck. Following reports of its presence in Belgium and the Isle of Wight, it was discovered on potatoes growing in the National Botanic Gardens in Dublin. It spread rapidly, affecting not only the growing crop, but even those tubers stored underground in pits, the traditional method used at the time to protect the potatoes from frost. The crop was wiped out and the effect on Ireland was cataclysmic. In the period 1845 to 1852, 1 million people died, 1 million emigrated, and within a generation, a further 2 million emigrated. So again, within a single generation, the population of the country was halved. I think the effect of the Irish potato famine on Ireland itself is widely known, but perhaps less well known is the impact of the Irish potato famine on many other countries. And just a quick look at some figures. In the years 1847 to 51, which almost mirror the famine period, almost half of all immigrants into New York were Irish. At an immigration clearing station in Gros Isle, which is near Quebec in Canada, in one year, 1847, 85% of the disembarkations were Irish. 1847 is generally agreed to have been the worst year of the Irish potato famine and is known as Black 47. A bit closer to home, a bit closer to Ireland, Liverpool, in the 20 years, 1831 to 51, the population doubled because of emigration from Ireland. So you can see the effect was not just on Ireland as a country, but on many other countries as well. Many of the immigrants traveled in ships like these. This is a replica. The original ship, the Jeannie Johnston, was built in Quebec in Canada in the 1840s. She could carry up to 250 passengers, and she carried immigrants to North America and Canada and timber back from Canada especially. She made 16 transatlantic crossings and never lost a single passenger or crew member in the voyages. And this is because she is reckoned to have had a very good ship's captain and a doctor on board. When, not if, but when you come to Dublin, you will be able to board this ship here, which is moored on the River Liffey in the center of Dublin. And now, of course, is a museum on which you can do a guided tour. In the foreground, the Lady in the Bay, and in the background, Ellis Island. And Ellis Island operated from 1892 to 1954. And again, many, many millions of Americans can trace their ancestry to people and their forefathers who came through Ellis Island. Again, another immigration station. It operated from 1892 to 1954, and the very first person to pass through and be processed in Ellis Island was a young lady from County Cork in Ireland, Annie Moore. Those of you in the US will know better than I do. You're now on your 46th US president, and exactly half of those presidents can trace Irish ancestry. Indeed, your cousin, your current president, President Biden, can trace his Irish ancestry both on his maternal and his paternal side. Again, a bit closer to home, the quintessential English group, the Beatles, three can trace their ancestry back to Ireland. That's John, Paul and George, with Ringo being the odd man out. So that's just a little bit of our history and our association with the potato in the past. But to today and to the present. When the organizing committee started preparing for this event almost 4 years ago, we chose as our Congress theme the changing world of the potato. But little did we know how much the world was going to change. I mean, the word seismic doesn't even begin to capture it. In relation to the Congress itself and the program, we believe we have organized a speaking panel of great international depth and breadth. You can see some of our plenary speakers here. We haven't time for me to run through them all, but you can check them out and the program on the Congress website, www.wpc2022ireland.com. We will have over 60 speakers from 20 different countries, and I can say, as I say, you can get much more information on that on the Congress website. We have 5 key Congress topics: business, health and nutrition, sustainability, innovation, and development. Business, starting with the first one, business. And you won't want to miss this one, ladies and gentlemen. Fertilizers, fuel, electricity, cardboard, plastic, labor, trucks, containers, all rising in cost. Where is this going? When is it going to stop? Is it going to stop? Well, come to the World Potato Congress and you might just find out. At the very least, you will see what's happening in other countries and maybe be able to cry on another shoulder from another country. We'll be looking at where's the growth, where's the opportunities, where's the consumer trends? Is consumption falling? And if so, why? And can we do anything about it? In Europe, we're living in a post-CIPC world. If you're outside of Europe, perhaps you'd like to come over and see how we're getting on and discuss with your European colleagues. The panic, of course, the pandemic rather has left some legacies, some positive, some negative. Those in the fresh market sector supplying retail, would have had 2 good years recently, whereas on the other side, the food service side and on the process side, clearly not so good. So there are positives and negative legacies from the pandemic, and we'll be having a look at those too. But of course, ultimately, the potato business is all about this. It's all about getting our product onto this plate. And whether we're in the business of French fries, American fries, or Belgian fries, or the table potatoes, or crisps, or chips, as some people know them, really, that's our objective, is to get our products onto those plates. And we see the World Potato Congress event as a massive opportunity to promote the potato as a product. There's massive media interest in the event. And as I say, we'll be using this global platform to get very positive nutritional messages out there from that platform. Under health and nutrition, look at the product we have. It's natural, high in vitamin C, high in potassium, high in vitamin B6 and fiber and so on. Its nutrition credentials are impeccable and it's natural, and more evidence is coming out that it's, in relation to many other crops, it's environmentally friendly. But don't just take my word for it. We will have speakers like Catherine Beals here from the Department of Nutrition and University of Utah, who will expand on the nutritional qualifications of the potato far better than I will, and will make an important connection between the nutritional content of the potato and the connection with sport. Sustainability, a huge and increasingly more and more important topic. I think everybody at this stage agrees or recognizes that to have healthy people, well, first of all, we have to have a healthy planet. We'll be looking at climate change in detail. In 2021, more than 400 weather stations beat their all-time highest records. The last 7 years have been the 7 hottest on record. Experienced climatologists were particularly amazed at temperature levels attained on the west coast of the US. They up to 54.4 degrees Celsius, which equates to 130 Fahrenheit. And I think even up across the border in Canada in the Northwest, they reached an incredible 49.6 Celsius. So at WPC 2022, we will be looking at how new breeding technologies are delivering new and more sustainable varieties that can withstand higher temperatures, use less water, and provide improved disease resistance. Again, in Europe, we have Europe's Green Deal. We have the EU Commission's Farm to Fork strategy, and the Commission aims to, by 2030, reduce by 50% the use of chemical pesticides, reduce the use of fertilizers by 20% by 2030, to have 25% of total farmland under organic farming by 2030. And recently, we had another French Revolution. But this one was more quieter. Unfortunately, nobody lost their heads, but the revolution took place in the area of plastic. Since January the 1st, for packages below 1.5 kilos, for vegetables and potatoes below, again, 1.5 kilos, single-use plastic has been banned. So is this coming your way if you're not in Europe, or even if you are in Europe? To find out, come to the World Potato Congress and you might get a good handle on it. Under the heading of innovation, in London, in Holborn, you can go to a supermarket called The Get-Go. It's a smart supermarket. You will open the doors with your phone. You will find no checkout staff inside, no security staff. You walk around the supermarket, you take what you want. If you accidentally put something in your basket and want to put it back again, that's no problem. You do all that in the store and you leave the store, and 50 meters down the road, you get a ping on your phone saying your account has been debited for X euros for what you have taken. This is a Tesco store under trial. I believe you already have some of these stores, I think in San Francisco, Amazon stores, and I think in parts of Scandinavia. So that's what's coming on the retail side. On the production side, we have smart farming too, and this we'll be exploring how smart production will improve the yield, quality, and of course your bottom line. We'll be looking at, again, the next generation of potato varieties, and in terms of grading and optical sorting, chasing the quest for perfection. Development is another heading, and under this heading, we'll be looking at the powerful potential of the potato to support sustainable livelihoods for small rural communities in developing countries, especially so in Africa. WPC President Romain Cools will be launching the Dublin Declaration, which is a template for public-private partnerships and how these can benefit small rural communities, again, in developing countries. And this will be towards the conclusion of the event. During the week of the Congress, as far as Ireland is concerned, and particularly as far as the potato trade is concerned, and the technical tours, all our doors are open. It's access all areas. And you'll be welcomed by people in the potato business, the leading packers, processors, people in the service sectors, and so on, right across the board. Their doors will be open. You will be able to visit potato plants, those supplying retail, those supplying supermarkets, those who are processing. You will receive a very, very warm welcome. During the week also, you'll be able to visit our National Research Centre and other historical venues. And Kasia will say more about these, and also cultural visits to castles, distilleries, strangely enough, and Belfast Titanic Museum. And at the conclusion of the week, we will be able to link in, those attending the Congress will be able to link in with the Irish Food Board's Bloom Festival, which is a kind of a national food festival. We will actually have two congresses that week, just immediately prior to the World Potato Congress. We're delighted to say that Europetat, which is the representative body for the European Potato Trade Association, is hosting its annual Congress in Dublin, again, immediately prior to the WPC event. So there will be a good attendance, of course, from Europetat, and they're all staying on, they have told us, for the World Potato Congress, and we look forward to linking up with them. And I have to also take this opportunity to congratulate the Europetat, because I see now that they are 70 years young this year, and I'm sure we'll celebrate that particular occasion in Dublin. Again, Kasia will elaborate more on the social program. I just want to pick out just 2 points here. One thing is the fun run, which starts at 6:30 a.m. on the Tuesday morning, and as we're pushing the nutritional content of the potato and the nutritional benefits, we thought it would be a good idea to host a fun run, and it's a short run, 2K run, but we think it's a great photo opportunity for the leaders and the presidents and vice presidents of potato organizations around the globe to turn up in Dublin for this fun run, and for sure it will draw a lot of media attention to see the connection being made between potato nutrition again and sport. As you all know, we have been pretty well in and out of lockdowns for the last year, 2 years, and we're hopeful, of course, that we will be able to make up for lost time, and respecting suggestions and safety measures and so on. We do hope we will be able to celebrate and make up for lost time. There are some positive indications in this part of the world, at least on the COVID front in the last week or two especially. Again, we all know what way the last 2 years have gone, but good things come to those who wait, and we hope we can make up for a lot of lost time in Dublin at the end of May, beginning of June. Finally, I would just like to say, if you are a potato producer, a wholesaler, a trader, or a packer, processor, retailer, importer, exporter, scientist, agronomist, or you service the potato industry in any way, then this World Potato Congress is for you. You can't afford not to be there. So come to Dublin and invest in the exchange of knowledge and global collaboration. And finally, I would just like to pay tribute to a very special group of companies. Many of the companies you see listed there now have been with us since before the pandemic, and they have stuck with us. We haven't lost a single sponsor through the pandemic, and I would just like to commend these companies for their loyalty and for sticking with us, and also for the goodwill which clearly emanates. Without the support of these companies, ladies and gentlemen, it simply would not be possible to host a World Potato Congress in Ireland. So I would like to thank our sponsors very sincerely again for sticking with us on this event. So without further ado, I will now pass you over to my colleague, Kasia Mahoney from Keynote PCO, our professional conference organizing partner. Kasia is project manager for the WPC 2022 event, and she's now going to update you on Congress registration, social events, other optional activities, and COVID safety measures for the event. So it's over to you, Kasia. Thank you.
Great, thank you very much for the introduction, Liam, and hello to everyone from very sunny Dublin this afternoon. As Liam mentioned, I'm from Keynote PCO, and we're managing the Congress Registration Office. And we're here really to answer all your questions you might have and assist you with the registration process. Congress registration can be done online through a designated booking form. To access the form, please go to the Congress website, and as Liam mentioned a couple times already, the Congress website domain is wpc2022ireland.com. Then you'll see that you'll be able to find a registration page, and that's where you find really all information in relation to Congress registration. As you can see on your screen there, And there are various of registration options available to the Congress participants. For kind of main registration, you have the full Congress registration, and the fee, as you can see on the screen, is $725. And then you have student registrations, like lower fee. And then there is also option for accompanying guests to register to attend the Congress. Now, it's really important to note the early bird registration deadline is just 2 weeks away. So if you are looking at participating and joining us in Dublin, please do register soon to avail of the early birds lower registration rate. And just to explain really what is included in the registration fee, for the full and student registration fee, the fee of the registration includes access to all main Congress sessions, access to the exhibition area, lunch and refreshment breaks, welcome reception, Congress social evening, as well as a technical tour ticket, so you can participate in a technical tour. And then for accompanying person, the fee is slightly different because obviously I'm sure that guests would like to discover Dublin and travel around and do a bit of shopping, I'm sure. The kind of items that are included in the Congress registration fee is the opening session on the very first day, followed by the welcome reception, as well as the main Congress evening social events in the Guinness Storehouse. So now just to kind of walk you through the registration process. Not only you can of course register for the Congress, but you can sort of book different various optional optional events. You can confirm really your attendance. So we want to make sure that you're having a fantastic and memorable time while in Dublin. So there are plenty of various optional events and tours available to our delegates throughout the week. From social events, there is the welcome reception on Monday, the 30th of May, which will take place in the Congress venue, the RDS. The reception is included in the registration fee. There will be some finger food and drinks served at the reception. The reception will take place straight after the Congress opening and the first plenary session. Then on Tuesday, the 31st of May, you are invited to join us at a barbecue, and there will be taking place just next door to the Congress venue in the Clayton Bridge Hotel. The hotel has some lovely grounds, and we made sure to, of course, order great weather for all of you in May and June. So that's booked. The weather is confirmed, so you don't have to be worried about it. I'm sure you'll have a great time enjoying some foods and drinks outdoors while catching up with some of your colleagues that I'm sure you haven't seen for a while. And then on Wednesday evening, we will be visiting, that's the main social, the official Congress evening event. We will be visiting the famous Guinness Storehouse. I'm sure you all can't wait. You will get a chance to explore the story of Guinness across 7 floors of their iconic building. And there'll be some exciting Irish entertainment, as well as great food and drinks organized for our delegates. And there'll be return coach transfer organized from main Congress hotels for delegates attending the event. And finally, on Thursday evening, as Liam already mentioned, for those who will be attending the technical tours, there'll be an option for you to join an evening at the Bloom Festival, which will be organized by Board Bia, our Irish food agency, and also our main Congress sponsor. These are only really some of the event options that we have available to our participants. For those arriving in Ireland early, and who are eager to showcase their golfing skills on the Irish soil, there is a very exciting golf tournament planned for Monday morning. And the golf tournament will take place in the Portmarnock Golf Club, just by the Irish coastline, with some spectacular views. So you are all very welcome to join. And there are very limited spaces available. So if you are interested if you're a good golfer, interested in participating, please book early. Then on Tuesday morning, again, mentioned already by Liam, there's the 2K fun run, and there's no other better way to start your day really as with a morning jog. So we want to really promote the idea of potatoes as the real food, real performance, and want you to become an ambassador for the healthy potato by participating in the Congress 2K fun run. The run is kindly supported by Potatoes USA, so thank you Potatoes USA for the support. You can register your interest in participating in the run during the Congress registration process as well. The run will take place in a local park called the Herbert Park, just around the corner from the Congress venue. On the top of the social event program, we have a number of picturesque excursions available to delegates who wish to discover Dublin and Ireland. On Sunday, for example, the 29th, delegates again arriving early can take part in a full day tour to the famous Cliffs of Moher in the west of Ireland. As most of you probably are aware, the cliffs are one of the highest cliffs in Europe and were voted by UNESCO as the 7th most wonderful heritage site in the world. So the tour is definitely not to be missed. And on Monday, those who like their walks can participate in a walking tour of Dublin. You'll be collected by our lovely tour guides from the RDS and slowly walk around Dublin, discovering Dublin's key attractions and learning about the history of Dublin and Ireland. You can choose to attend, sort of join the tour either on Monday or on Wednesday morning. On Tuesday then, for those that are interested in a couple of key attractions in Dublin, they can join a guided tour that will bring you to the famous Trinity College and Book of Kells exhibition, a must-see attraction for all people visiting Dublin, really. You'll be also brought to the stunning old library. You can see the image of the library here is again a stunning place, not to be missed. And then from the Trinity College, you sort of drive around Dublin and visit various locations, and the tour guide will kind of drive around with you, tell you a story of Dublin, and it'll give you a little bit of history of Ireland and Dublin. And then you'll be brought to the Epic Museum. That's the Irish Immigration Museum that Liam mentioned earlier in his presentation. As you know, the potato background, as Liam went through, is largely connected to the immigration. So the Epic Museum is a really interesting place definitely to visit. It's located in Dublin Docklands, and it's very interactive. You can spend really hours going through their exhibition. Also, just recently, last 3 years really, the museum has been voted as Europe's leading tourism attraction in 2019, 2020, and 2021. So that definitely should appear on your itinerary. Then on Wednesday, if you're interested in traveling outside Dublin and discovering its surroundings, you can join the Glendale on the Paris Court Gardens tour. Guests on this tour will enjoy stunning scenery and glimpse of Ireland's monastic past at Glendale in County Wicklow, one of Ireland's most popular tourist attractions. The Glendale Valley is located in Wicklow Mountains National Park and has many attractions to entice, entertain, and fascinate visitors from its world famous monastic site with round tower to its lakes and valleys. So as you can see, the tour is very scenic here from the photographs. And then from Glendalough, guests will be brought to beautiful grounds of the Powers Courthouse. That's the second image here I have on my screen. And Powers Courthouse and Gardens is one of the Europe's great treasures, really, and Anna's most famous stage. Again, kind of extra knowledge. The Powers Gardens was voted number 3 in the world's top 10 gardens by National Geographic. So again, if you're looking for a bit of scenery, I like to visit the gardens. That's your tour to pick. Also within the grants, there's it's kind of a famous retailer place that they have lots of Irish suppliers called Avoca. You'll get a chance to get a lunch there and do a little bit of shopping. And then really on Thursday, as I don't have it on slide here anymore, but Liam mentioned before, we have of course the technical tours. So you'll not only be visiting our leading fresh market and potato processing companies, but also many stunning and tourist attractions, like for example, Malahide Castle, Jameson Distillery, Freem Castle, Kilkenny Castle, and then in Northern Ireland, if you choose to go to Northern Ireland, the Belfast Titanic Museum. Please do visit the Congress website to learn more about technical tours. There's lots of more details added there to the website. So and do select the most appealing tour for you, because again, during the registration process, you'll be asked to indicate what tour you wish to participate in. Just to clarify again, tours are included in the main delegate registration fee and can be booked during the registration process. Now, just to touch a little bit on accommodation, your accommodation can be also booked through the registration process. So the system is quite streamlined. There's so many options to choose from. And there are various accommodation options available to our delegates. Most of them are within walking distance to the Congress venue. So there's the Herbert Park Hotel, and that's the Congress headquarters hotel. It's only literally 5 minutes away from the Congress venue. There's also the Clayton Bulls Bridge Hotel that we'll be using for one of the barbecues, and it's also 5 minutes away. And there are also some budget accommodation options available as apartments and self-catering options. All hotels have been secured in advance by our office, so are available with special reduced rate for our delegates. Bookings can be made during the registration process. And just to note, as Dublin is usually very busy during summer, please ensure to book your accommodation early to make sure you secure your room and get the reduced special delegate rate, because like we will be able to hold block of rooms until a certain stage only, but then there will be limited availability. Again, please visit our website. There's lots more information available on the website, including the full descriptions, prices, and sort of what I will give you further information about the distance from the conference venues. And also just to note that when you do go through the registration process, most of the properties accommodation options are available to book really from the 29th of May. So if you decide to extend your stay or you wish to arrive earlier, please do contact our office and we'll be more than happy to add extra rooms and just manage your booking directly. So do book the rooms that are available, and then we can always add extra nights if needed. And then just quickly here as a reminder, please note a couple of key dates and deadlines here. So that's the early bird registration deadline that is upcoming. It's coming really soon. Suddenly we're 2 years to the Congress, and now we're only 5 months. So the early bird registration deadline is nearly there. Please do make sure that you book early if you wish to avail of the early rate. And then for anyone who wishes to share their knowledge or would like to be included in the Congress program, you still have the opportunity to submit an abstract for a poster presentation. And the deadline is the 15th February. Again, please visit our website. You'll know exactly there are further instructions there how to submit your abstract and so on. And then just to briefly touch on travel and how to travel to Ireland. Well, Ireland is very accessible with many regular and direct flights from Europe, of course, as well as the States, Canada, and many of the Asian or African countries. And there are also various ferry options from the UK or mainland Europe. You'll find more information in relation to travel on the website. I know I've been directing you to our website a couple of times here, but really the website is quite detailed. So there's lots of information listed there on the website, including sort of local travel. So we'll give you options on how to get from the airport to the venue, what sort of, there's a special card that you can buy to prepay your travel and so on. So do visit the website. And also for anyone that is or needs to apply for visa when traveling, again, do check the website. Our office is here to assist you with the visa application process. So once you're fully registered and your registration is fully paid, we will provide you with a visa confirmation letter that you can then submit to the Irish embassy when looking for a visa. And finally, I'm sure you all will really wonder about our COVID status and travel restrictions to Ireland. So with the Congress organizers and following the official government guidelines, we created a set of COVID safety measures that will be applied and should be followed during the Congress. You can see just some of them listed here. You can get an idea of them. And the full set of current guidelines is available to view online on our website. As we all know, really, COVID regulations change on a regular basis at the moment. So please ensure to keep checking our website regularly for further updates. Well, we are saying this, we are very positive that with over 90% of Irish population that is already fully vaccinated and with very strong booster program and already over 60 population who received the third vaccine and the booster vaccine, I'm sure we'll be welcoming international delegates to Ireland in May for the 11th World Potato Congress. Our staff members also in keynotes have completed special training organized by Forty Ireland, the Irish Tourism Boards, and we have been awarded safety charter. So we are really all committed with the organizers here to providing safe environment to anyone attending the Congress, including our delegates and staff, of course. So, of course, everyone's health and well-being is very important to us. So we'll do our best to make sure that we have proper measures in place to ensure safety. Yeah, well, thank you very much for your time, really, and we all very much look forward to welcoming you in this May. If you have any questions, you can always contact our registration office. That's the registration email just there. Please also visit the website and do follow us on social media. You can find us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. If you just type in WPC 2022 Ireland, will be just there. And then we would really like to finish our presentation with a short video, just to give you a small glimpse of what awaits you here in Ireland. Well, thank you again for your time. And now I suppose I would like to invite Liam back to the screen here with me, and will be more than happy to answer some of your questions. So Liam, if you could join me here. Now we'll have a look what sort of questions there are and if we can answer them. I hope the video streamed okay and you can hear the music, because it was quite entertaining there.
I see one question from the US there, Kasia. How are potatoes perceived in Ireland today? If I may take that one.
Yeah, no, of course, absolutely. I think that's your area of expertise, so please do, of course.
And the question says, are potatoes still eaten in high quantities? Well, the short answer is thankfully yes. And being in the potato business, of course, we're very grateful for that. The potato is still held in very high regard here in Ireland. By European standards, I think our consumption rate is quite high. Per kilo per capita, it's about 87 kilo per capita per annum. Now that includes fresh and processed. Again, I think internationally that compares favorably with many countries. We consume a red skin variety here, yellow flesh. It's very popular, has about 70% market share, and that's the variety Rooster. And Irish people like it. I think particularly it has what we call a high dry matter content, which would be 20 plus probably. It's what we call a nice floury potato. So again, yeah, very, very popular here in Ireland, thankfully.
Great. Yeah, no, perfect. Let's have a look. Thank you for your answer, Liam there. And let's have a look. Are there any other questions that you could answer there? There's a question from coming here in relation to excursions tour. Well, the kind of what tour excursion is closest to Dublin? Really, any tours within Dublin as the walking tour, or the kind of the coach Dublin tour to Trinity College and the Epic Museums will be the closest. And then the Glennon tour, it's probably around, I don't know, 45 minutes from Dublin. Then when you're looking at the full day to Cliffs of Moher, it's slightly longer. I think you're looking at least 3 hours of drive, because it's the opposite side of Ireland completely. So this will definitely take the whole day. And there's also a question in relation to sort of provision of speakers who cannot attend, and if their presentation will be available online. Well, the idea is really that more the presentation where speakers will be able, the whole point of organizing Congress is for the speakers to be able to join us in Ireland. In very special circumstances, some speakers may have to join us online. So we'll be definitely developing with the organizers here a virtual platform. So not only to allow for presentation to be recorded, but for anyone who is unable to travel to Ireland to join the Congress online. So you'll be learning about this option. You will be promoting it more sort of from late February. So there will be various options available. So don't worry if you can really attend in person. Of course, that's the ideal scenario, that you will meet us here in Dublin, because as you could see from our presentation, there's lots to see and do, and there's so many activities that we plan for you here in Dublin, so you wouldn't like to miss that. But there will be an option for delegates, possibly, for example, from Asian countries or farther away, to join the Congress online. Again, just keep an eye on our social media, keep an eye on our website. We will keep you posted. All right. Are there any other questions?
I see one there on blight, Kasia, just a general question. Is blight still a challenge? And certainly it is, and in many parts of the world, of course, still today. And it's still a major focus, of course, for many plant pathologists and breeders and geneticists and so on. Blight will, of course, be dealt with at the World Potato Congress, but I see one or two technical questions on the blight here as well. I just want to assure you that if we can't answer them here and now, we will follow up those by email after this session, if people have very technical questions.
Yeah, exactly. There's one more question here in relation to kind of extended travel on islands. There's so many kind of destinations within Ireland. There's the whole Northern Ireland and west of Ireland that you should really visit. So if you get a chance to kind of extend your stay, definitely do. Do contact our office. We'll be more than happy to advise you on a few options. So the only kind of tour that we have available as part of the Congress registration process will be the Cliffs of Moher to west of Ireland as a sort of extended one-day stay. But then for further option, if you need really any suggestions, to contact our office. All right. Is there anything else? There is one from in relation to potato flour there, Liam, the very last question. I'm not sure if that's something that you can look now, or you like to go back to this person directly.
If you could just read that out to me, Kasia, please. There, if yes, I've seen potato flour and recently seen potato bread. Can potatoes be blended with other fruits to make juice? Well, I'm not so sure about juice specifically, but for sure, I know the potato is very, very versatile. There are many dishes and recipes which can be made from potatoes, and I wouldn't be overly sure about juice necessarily. But I mean, I have potato desserts, and if I had not been told, I wouldn't have believed that potatoes were in them, because it's amazing what you actually can do with potatoes. But look, there's another possible use for the potato. We'll check it out and get back on the juice.
Yeah, I think so. Well, I think we pretty much extended our presentation time, Liam. Here we're usually presenting for an hour. So we might be getting in trouble here. So again, thank you very much for your attention, and thank you for WPC for organizing the webinar. It was wonderful to join you here online and showcase Ireland and what we have to offer, and how complex and interesting the program is. Thank you for our program committee. They've done some fantastic job. So we definitely go to the website, please, and check the speakers that we've already confirmed. We'll be populating further information on the website very soon. So do check the details. The invited speakers are there. We have already over 60 names. The presentations are there. The sessions names are there. So you have a great idea of what to expect at the Congress if you go to the website and kind of look around. But again, if there are any questions, do send us a quick email. Our office it's here to assist you. I'll be more than happy to answer your queries.
I would just like to echo those sentiments of Kasia, and to thank WPC Inc. And Nora in particular, and her team, for giving us the opportunity to promote the event on this platform. And the last thing I would like to say is greatly look forward to seeing you all in Dublin at the end of May, and I can assure you, you will get the mother and father of all Irish welcomes. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
That's it. Great. Thank you very much. See you in Dublin. Take care. Bye now.
Bye.